What's going on, guys? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to talk about the culture war and how exhausted I am just even looking at most of this stuff. You know, there's just so many things are just popping up all the time, and people they're just so mad all the time. And I'm like, damn, dude. So we're going to talk about that for a bit. Now, before we get into the video, I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is The Ridge. Guys, I'm such a Ridge fanboy at this point. Like, I really, really enjoy their products. You got the Ridge wallet right here. So small, so nice and compact. Got all of my cards in it. The Ridge wallet holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, baby. And also have this Ridge key case right here. Organizes my keys greatly. It's very small and compact. It's a very cool addition to have on your set, so you just don't have your keys jingling everywhere. So guys, go to ridge.com/SBG and use the coupon code SBG to get 10% off your order. And the best thing about this, they're having a Bronco giveaway right now. With every dollar spent on the website before September 30th, you'll be entered to win a brand new upgraded Ford Bronco, or you can get $75K in cash if you prefer. The winner will be announced in October, so guys, take advantage of the situation. This Bronco looks amazing, or hey, you may need $75K. Either or, amazing deal. So get out there and grab yourself some stuff, try to win something, and thank you again to The Ridge.
Supreme victory!
So it was a little over 3 years ago, I made a video talking about Ariel the Little Mermaid, which is the biggest thing that has just exploded on to the marketplace of ideas and the culture war. I made a video talking about the people freaking out about Ariel the Little Mermaid when they announced that Halle Bailey, I almost always slip up and say Halle Berry, but I remember it's Halle Bailey. It's like, oh, she's gonna play Ariel, and then people were freaking out already. And so I made a video. It featured Chris Reagan because we were actually in Vegas at the time, and I just made a quick little video. I was a little sauced up on some Jameson and ginger ale, and I just really wanted to emphatically tell people that I do not care. My biggest reason for not caring that I explained in the video is that Ariel is a fish, so I don't care what Ariel is. It is what it is, man. I explained that there are instances in some films and some Disney ones where, like, say, Belle, it's in France, you know, you have Nolans, you have in The Princess and the Frog. There's some things that are pretty important. Elsa is in the Scandinavia and all that stuff. Like, it kind of makes sense. The fish, I don't care. The fish can be whatever the fish wants to be. It's kind of like Aquaman and Jason Momoa. I don't care. You know, or Arthur being, you know, an Aryan guy all this time, and then it becomes Jason Momoa. Couldn't care less. I just don't care. And there seems to be so many people that care way too much. I would say on both sides, but I gotta say the side that is really upset, they're the ones that are the biggest offenders. They're the weirdest ones to me. You've seen all the thumbnails. Every thumbnail that just has like, oh, woke on it, or in the title it says the woke trailer or the woke area, because like woke is that word that if you use woke as a pejorative, I'm telling you right now, I honestly do not like you. I'm 100%. If you use woke as a pejorative, I don't like you. I just don't, because I just don't want to talk to you. Like, you're weird and obsessed with this culture shit, and I'm just like a grown ass man over here. Like, damn, I don't care about this. I was never gonna watch Ariel the Little Mermaid. Like, and I mean this, and I honestly, genuinely mean this. And I know there's other people that have watched these live action Disney ones. They have watched them, and they don't like them. And my whole thing is, I'm like, why do you keep watching them? You know they're garbage. I literally have not seen one of them. I have not seen one. Personally, I'm not interested. I'm just not. The classics are the classics, and I know it's not going to be good. I'm not even curious to see the comparisons, because I'm like, oh, I know it's not going to like be good. It's all I'm going to be doing is the entire time is comparing this scene to this scene, which automatically is going to make it not good, right? It's not like a remake that needs to be made. Like, say, when Resident Evil 2 remake came out, Resident Evil 2 being one of my favorite games, and then they remade it to modern day graphics, and then they souped it up, and I'm like, this is needed. This makes sense. These Disney cash grab things that they're doing, this line of reintroducing Disney to another generation of kids and stuff, and they can have their live action stuff that they probably really like it, and then try to mark it off of a little bit of nostalgia and kind of, you know, convince parents to definitely take their kids because they're like, oh yeah, this is something that we can both enjoy. Yeah, that's who that's for. And then the people, these diehard weirdos that are like obsessed with Air the Little Mermaid, I'm like kind of creeped out, and I'm like, why do you care so much? Look at these people. Look at all of these thumbnails using that same chick that was screaming about Donald Trump being inaugurated over and over. I'm like, if you've used that past 2017, I do not like you. I'm just being 100% honest. I think you're an idiot. I think you're dumb. To be honest, I gotta let me reel that back a little bit. What the people that are actually using it, I kind of applaud them that they can still just profit off of this same stupid woke thing, the woke narrative, the thumbnail shit with the screaming, crying feminists. They keep doing it over and over and over again. It's really the audience that people that watch that I'm ashamed of and that I don't like. Because I understand what the grifters are doing. I get that. It's hilarious. It does make me roll my eyes because it's fucking insufferable. But at the same time, I understand why they're doing it. It's working. Those videos get hundreds of thousands of views. And for the life of me, I'm like, come have a little bit of self-respect for yourself, man. It's like, you ever see those thumbnails of people where they do those like poggers? They go like, oh, whoa. And you know the video's not that exciting. They're doing it for algorithmic purposes. They're doing it because kids like that kind of stuff. Wow. It's like, say you ever watch a kid's show, Nick Jr. or something, how everybody's all exaggerated and then, hey kids, and they just look like totally unnatural and weird because yeah, the kids love that. So then you do that for the thumbnail. You go, oh, wow, and stuff. And so I don't click on those videos. I don't respect that stuff. I'm not a child. Even if the creator is somebody that I think I might enjoy, I'm like, you're treating me like a fucking child, and I'm not going to click on your shit. And so people that do the same thing with the putting the woke on every single thumbnail and putting the crying feminist or the mad angry feminist or whatever, or big red, people who have not been in anywhere in the limelight since 2016. I'm like, bro, no thank you. I've moved far beyond past that. Everything that I see, man, the Lord of the Rings, all this stuff, like I understand just being upset about something that you really like and they change it enough to where you're like, but everything is just being blamed on, oh, it's just culture war, it's culture war, culture war. And then here's the problem. There's people that are a part of those projects that are doing shit specifically to spite those type of people. You'll catch posts every once in a while calling these people trolls, which to a certain extent a lot of them are, but not all of them. Calling them trolls, just egging them on, making it kind of worse. And what I'm seeing is almost just repeating of what happened in 2014 to 2016, where you had certain people that were in charge and they're like, we want to do this, we want to do things for diverse purposes. It's 2020 something, you know, we can mix it up. Everything was just one demographic and one color before because that's just how it was. You didn't put certain people. When you think about, like, say, I Love Lucy, for example, one of my favorite sitcoms and one of the best of all time.
Lucy? You hit her pretty hard there, Rick.
Those people did not want Desi Arnaz. They're like, we don't want this Cuban guy. Nobody's going to believe that they're married, even though they had been married for a decade at that point. You're seeing the remnants of that now where these people are like, nobody wants this. It's woke. It's failing. Well, it's these people are going out of their way to completely trash and bomb the ratings and go out and hit the dislike button and stuff, which I think is the most pathetic shit ever, I'm gonna be honest. Because I don't do it. Even if I really dislike something, I really just stay away from it. I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch it. That's literally, I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not going to watch it. But what I'm not going to do is go out of my way to type an angry message, hit the dislike button, go on 4chan or go on Reddit and just kind of start to congregate and get everybody in on it and all this shit and then all of a sudden they feel very proud of their art. You know what I mean? They're very proud of their work. I'm like, It reminds me of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Everyone was just like, oh, space, this is so far from World War II and everything, the same thing, literally everything. They just want the same fucking game over and over. Why is it not World War II? Why is it not one of the Great War? And then so they bombed it. And then for the small amount of people who actually played it, that were actually still interested in it, they were like, that campaign was rad. That campaign was so good. That was so fun. You know, these are the same people that like Star Wars. And then they're like, well, you don't want to shoot people on the moon, bro? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this kind of fake outrage. These guys are angry at a stupid fish that is geared towards 12-year-olds. Ariel the Little Mermaid has always been geared towards 12-year-old girls. And I'm not trashing anybody that liked it. I'm just saying it is weird to see these dudes with giant beards that are just complaining about this thing. And I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? And I've seen some people like, well, what about my daughter in this? I'm like, your daughter's not going to give a fuck unless you teach her to give a fuck. Now, that being said, I'm not expecting people to like this. It's just, I just feel like just don't watch it. You know, I really did see a shift going on because I felt like there was a reason. You guys remember when BuzzFeed, MTV News, all of these outlets on YouTube and were just constantly just shitting on straight white men and all this stuff, and it was just so annoying. And you saw what it propped up. It gave like, you know, underground racism an opportunity to rise up and say, see, this is what they think of you. They want to replace you, this, and that. And then all of a sudden, what was that thing called? The Charlottesville, like that kind of stuff started to happen. Like, you saw the writings on the wall, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I thought it was pretty important to speak out against that stuff because you saw that what the hate was breeding. Like, hate begets hate, right? It does. And you saw and I'm like, dude, I don't like where this is going. I know what these people, these charlatans that are waiting, they're waiting for an opportunity like this to victimize themselves and be like, we need to rise up because if we don't, we're going to be replaced forever and all this shit. And then now you have stuff like this and they're repeating the same stuff. The same talking points are being repeated. They're like, look what they're doing. That beautiful white fish, the humanoid fish thing has been replaced by the enemy essentially. And now like it's giving them a reason to ruffle their feathers. And I'm like, bro, this is so annoying. Now, I hate that this is even a thing that's happening. But largely, most of that stuff, like when is the last time you saw anything from MTV News or BuzzFeed, any of that shit? Like years ago when they were just pumping out videos constantly like this, the writing was on the wall that this shit was silly. And then that phase started to fade out. And I started to notice it fading out. And I've always said that I would be happy if all this stuff died down. Like, I know I'm profiting off of it by talking about it, but I can do plenty of other things. Like, it's okay. Now, some other people, this is all they got. And you can tell the difference between the people that were okay with things fading away and then them transitioning to other things, and the other people who were just constantly just giving you this outrage porn. Constantly just, you know, woke this, woke that. Everything is woke. Every single thing is woke. If it's negative, it's woke. And they're just, because it's all they got. It's the one trick pony. And I'm like, bro, I don't respect that. I kind of respect the grift a little bit, but but at the end of the day, ideologically, morally, I don't respect it. And I gotta say, when you think about the two offending parties, really, because it's like the days of old, the SJWs versus the anti-SJWs, like kind of a thing that's happening. What you see is the worst that the SJWs, you know, the progressive ideologues, who are really, that's what you, if you want to really call them that, that's like the proper thing to call them, like just like progressive zealots. What they really want is just, is it the worst thing in the world? No. Does it screw with some media? Sometimes, yeah. Is it a big deal? No. I mean, it's kind of like, it's the argument like, oh, you should create new characters. Stop trying to change the new ones. Create new ones. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that mostly. But at the same time, if things do get changed at the end of the day, I don't care that much. You know, it's like Deadshot and Will Smith. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like the first Suicide Squad movie was not good, but it wasn't because of Will Smith was Deadshot. You know what I'm saying? It was because it was just a disaster of a film. And so, like, I just didn't really care about that. I'm like, that's fine. You know, yeah, sure. It's better if, like, kind of like I've used this example a bunch of times. Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern, he was a new character. He was a different. He wasn't replacing Hal Jordan. Like, oh, I'm Hal Jordan and I'm black. It was just I'm another Green Lantern, which makes sense. It's a corps. It's like an army, right? And everybody liked him in the the Justice League animated series in the 2000s. Everyone loved Jon Stewart. So that is a great thing to do. But I'm not going to scream and cry and say woke this, woke that if somebody tries to do something outrageous like make Peter Parker black. Like, it would be fucking hilarious. And then you would see all these, you know, these dudes cry and say woke this, replacement this, and I'd be like, bro, it is annoying, but can you guys just tone it down a little bit? Like, god damn, these are fictional characters at the end of the day. Cartoons, little fish girls. And then these motherfuckers they're so angry, and now they're celebrating that it got disliked, bombed to hell. And like, the fans aren't having it. I'm like, bro, no, that's you guys. All of you guys that have been trashing this from the beginning, you're the ones that are downvoting this. And then you say, the fans rejected this. And I'm like,
you stupid.
But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This one was pretty long, but I know I just felt I had to rant about this because it's just too much, man. I feel like people need to go outside. They need to go just chill some more. They need to just watch things that they like, play video games that they like, and stop so hyper-focusing on all this crap. Just stop. Just don't consume it. There is so much stuff to watch and consume. There's too much stuff. I can't keep up with it all. So it's like, why would I waste my energy on that shit, man? But yeah, anyway, you guys have a good one. I'm out of here, and y'all stay hot and sexy.